So AI is completely shaking up human resources, right? It's everywhere. But here's the big question. As we're all chasing efficiency, are we accidentally losing the very thing that makes HR, well, human? That's what we're going to tackle today. We're diving into how you can lead with AI, but do it ethically, do it effectively, and make sure that technology is serving people, not the other way around. Let's get right into it.
Okay, so everything really starts right here with this core idea of a partnership. This isn't some sci-fi movie about humans versus machines, not at all. It's about humans with machines. Think about it like this. AI is like the most incredible data analyst on your team, one that never sleeps. It can tear through a million resumes, find tiny patterns in your employee data, draft emails in a flash. But what can it do? It can't apply emotional intelligence in a tough conversation. It can't make a really nuanced ethical call. And it definitely can't provide the strategic oversight to ask, wait, is this even the right thing to be working on? That's where we come in.
So, how do we make sure we get this balance right? Well, here's our game plan for today. First, we'll look at the big picture, the promise, and yeah, the peril of AI in HR. Then we'll get into a really powerful framework called the AI Leadership Compass. And from there, we're going to zoom right in on two really critical points from that compass: fairness and human oversight. And finally, we'll wrap up by giving you a blueprint to actually put all these ideas into action. Let's start with that big picture. I mean, on one hand, the promise of AI in HR is just dazzling, right? Automating all those tedious tasks, finding deep insights in our workforce data, creating these amazing personalized experiences for employees. But on the other side of that coin is the peril. Because if we implement this stuff poorly, AI can sneak in hidden biases, make decisions that nobody understands, and it could completely shatter the trust and psychological safety that you've worked so hard to build. And that's the absolute bedrock of any healthy company. And this right here really gets to the heart of it. Look, the success or failure of any AI tool you bring in, it's not going to be about how fancy the code is. It's going to come down to one simple human question. Do your people trust it? Do they believe that it's fair? Do they have any idea how it works? In this new world, trust is the only currency that matters. It's totally non-negotiable. So how do we earn that trust? It all starts by changing how we think about the technology itself. This is not about automation coming to take over jobs. It's all about augmentation. It's about giving HR pros like you a kind of superpower to amplify your own judgment, your own strategic value. So here's the mindset shift. Think of AI as the most brilliant, hardworking assistant you could ever ask for. It's the one that handles all the data crunching, the scheduling, the first drafts of everything. And what does that do? It frees you, the human, up to focus on the work that really matters. Coaching a new manager, designing a new development program, solving those messy, complex people problems that, let's be honest, no algorithm is ever going to solve. Okay, so all that theory is great, but what we really need is a practical tool, right? Something to guide us. And that is exactly where this framework comes in. It's called the AI Leadership Compass, and it gives us 4 super clear, super simple principles to steer by to make sure that any AI tool we bring into our organization is responsible, ethical, and always, always human-centric. The 4 main points on our compass are fairness, transparency, accountability, and human oversight. Now, you could do a whole deep dive on each one of these, but today we're really going to zero in on 2 of them, the 2 that honestly are mission critical for HR leaders to get right, like right now, actively putting fairness into practice and intentionally keeping humans in the decision-making loop. All right, let's dive into our first principle: fairness. And this is so important. You see, fairness isn't something you can just hope for. It's not passive. It's an active, deliberate choice you have to make from the very beginning. It has to be designed and engineered into your AI systems from the ground up. So what's the number one enemy of fairness? It's this thing called algorithmic bias. And what's so wild is that the AI isn't trying to be biased. It's just a mirror. It's reflecting the data we feed it. For instance, some of the first AI recruiting tools became famous for preferring male candidates. And why did that happen? Because they were trained on a decade of a company's hiring history, which was already skewed toward men. The algorithm just learned to copy our past mistakes. And that's the big aha moment. The problem isn't the machine, it's our own biased data. So how do we actively fight this? Think of this table as your practical playbook. So you see a risk like disparate impact, and that's just a fancy legal term for when a process accidentally hurts a specific group of people. Well, your mitigation is to run constant impact analyses to check for that. Is the problem a black box AI where no one knows what's happening? The solution is to demand models you can actually explain and then communicate clearly about them. The main idea here is to get ahead of the risks. Build the guardrails before you launch the tool. And that leads us perfectly into our second principle, human oversight. Because look, even the fairest, most transparent algorithm in the world is still just a tool, and any tool needs a skilled person using it. At the end of the day, no matter how ridiculously smart the tech gets, that human wisdom, that's the real cornerstone of ethical AI. I absolutely love this quote. It's so simple, but it says everything, doesn't it? It is so easy to get caught up in the wow, look what it can do, that we forget to stop and ask the most important question of all. Yeah, but should we do this? Our human values, not the machine's capabilities, have to be the final judge. Always. So, what does this actually look like in your day-to-day work? Well, it means the AI can go ahead and screen 1,000 resumes and even give you a recommendation. But it's a real, trained human being who makes that final call. It means that HR leadership is always responsible for the outcome. You never get to say the algorithm did it. It means you have a real, documented process for reviewing and, when you need to, overriding what the AI suggests. It's just a smart system of checks and balances. And listen, this isn't just some academic theory. Companies are doing this right now. Just take a look at a leader like IBM. They didn't just write up a nice policy. They actually created a dedicated AI ethics board. Its entire job is to govern how these powerful tools are used inside their own HR department. That is what real commitment looks like in practice. And just look at what this board actually does. Before a single employee ever even sees a new AI tool, that tool has to pass some really tough audits for fairness and for data privacy. But they don't just set it and forget it. They are constantly watching these tools out in the real world. And maybe most importantly, they are super transparent with their own employees about what AI they're using and why. That whole end-to-end process, that's how you build trust that lasts. All right, so we've walked through the compass. We've focused on fairness and human oversight. Now it's time to bring this all home. It's time to go from just understanding these principles to actually putting them to work by building your own ethical blueprint. So this is where I turn it over to you. This is your call to action. I want you to really think about your specific company, your specific culture. What are your unique risks? What are your core values? It's time to start the conversation about what your ground rules need to be. And listen, this is not a conversation you can just push off to the IT department. Nope. This is a core leadership conversation that every single person in HR needs to be a part of. Okay, so as we wrap up, let's just lock in the big takeaways here. First, this technology isn't making the human in HR less important. It's actually making our judgment and our empathy more valuable than ever. Second, things like ethics and privacy, they're not just nice-to-haves anymore. They are the absolute price of admission. Third, good intentions are great, but they're not enough. You need some kind of formal governance, like an ethics board, to really make these principles real. And finally, the future of HR really belongs to the leaders who can perfectly blend that deep human empathy with brilliant, innovative technology. I want to leave you with one last thing. It's a really simple question, but it should be your ultimate guide for everything. Before you sign off on any new AI process, any new tool, just stop and put yourself on the other side of that decision. Ask yourself honestly, if I were the employee here, would I feel like this was fair? Would I be comfortable with this? And if your gut tells you anything less than a loud, clear yes, well, then you know you've got more work to do. It's the ultimate litmus test.